Hello guys and welcome to the Fat Electrician. He doesn't look fat to me, but he's going to teach us about cheese and that will make you fat, so be careful. Especially if there's an entire bunker full of it. So we're going to learn about these bunkers today. So let's go.
This has almost nothing to do with the U.S. military, but it's so ridiculous I can't not talk about it.
Does that mean he specifically makes videos on the military usually?
Cheese reserve. Yeah, if you didn't know, the United States currently has over 500 underground cave warehouses spanning across 35 different states, the largest of which is underneath Springfield, Missouri, where America, as of August 2022, currently hoards 1.5 billion pounds of cheese. And just for the record, I realize I'm uploading this video very close to April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's joke. I am 100% serious. El Dorado is real, and Uncle Sam made it out of cheese.
Look, El Dorado, the city of gold.
And I know what you're thinking.
I don't know what
right
El
now, you're
Dorado
like, wow,
is.
that's a cool little factoid. I can't wait
cheese.
to share that with my buddy at the bar one day.
I know what
but
that
no,
is.
This is going to infect your thoughts for the rest of your life. You're never going to see the world through the same lens ever again. I mean, for example, let's just say you're at home watching The Walking Dead. You're going to come to the realization there'd be way more fucking cheese in the apocalypse than that, okay? You're never going to be able to watch Mad Max again without thinking about cheese.
But
you have to come to the terrifying...
But how do you keep the cheese fresh? As far as I'm aware, cheese is something that expires pretty quickly, at least in its modern form. I know back in the day, like, cheese wheels were a very common thing, and you could just leave those, like, sitting around, right? And they would be fine? But I know, like, modern cheese doesn't last very long, so I'm imagining this is somehow a cheese that lasts longer? I don't know. If you know how cheese lasts, I guess just tell me.
Terrifying realization that you live in a world where there is a greater than 0% chance that one of these underground cheese caves gets mistaken for a government facility and gets nuked in World War III, and we're gonna have to deal with a radioactive tsunami wave of nacho cheese.
Wait, is it not a government facility? I thought it was a government facility. Is America's secret underground cheese bunkers, are these owned by corporations? I thought these were government facilities. Nuclear cheese, though, that, wouldn't it just get obliterated? Unless, well, if it survives the blast, I guess the cheese itself would be radioactive, but the cheese is going to stay in the bunker, right? It's not like cheese is going to mystify and then just start going to all of our houses and into our noses.
And this is real life. So I asked myself one question. How on earth did America get to this point? Because I know it didn't happen overnight. And what I found was the craziest real-world example of a butterfly effect that I have ever seen. And believe it or not, it all actually ties back in with last week's video of the ice cream ships of World War II. If you missed that, the super abbreviated version, basically the US government banned alcohol during Prohibition in the 1920s. Because of that, all the bars in America turned themselves into ice cream parlors to stay in business. Ice cream
I mean, you're going to use the next best thing, right?
Left by alcohol. If so facto, there was like 2 generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we just use caffeine the way we used to use cocaine. The way we used to use cocaine and other things, now we just use caffeine like that. There's always going to be something, you know? Humans have specific needs, and they will find a way to fulfill those needs.
I'm sure you can imagine this would drive up dairy consumption. Combine that with the fact that the 30s and 40s is when refrigeration would become readily accessible, meant that for the first time in human history, there was such a demand for dairy products that farmers could exclusively become dairy farmers, meaning that this would be the birth of the entire dairy industry.
Well, I've heard of that.
Honestly, it worked out great. Right up until it didn't in 1949. 1949, 4 years after World War II, the American military is downsized, there's not an entire horde of young men eating 10,000 calories a day, and America's not exporting anywhere near as much food to other countries for war relief, meant that there was a decrease in dairy consumption or a dip in the dairy market. As this became a bigger and bigger problem...
Does that mean the Soviets downsized too? Because I know a lot of Soviet brigades and divisions were getting fed specifically by British and American food? What happened to those divisions after the war? Did they just stop existing? Because I remember hearing that the Soviets did not downscale after the war, but I never really looked very much into it.
Step in because they weren't about to let the entire dairy industry implode, because I mean, let's face it, that would be utter catastrophe. So the USDA stepped in and said, hey, you know what, we're going to buy all the excess milk. Okay, pause. Thought experiment. You're a dairy farmer. You make all of your money by selling milk. And then suddenly, a couple years back, motherfuckers quit drinking milk, aka you made less money. Now the government has come out of left field and said, hey, we're gonna buy all of the milk.
Make more.
What do? You
Make more.
Make more fucking milk.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. So just to be clear, there was already too much milk. Now there's definitely gonna be too much milk.
Because there's
naturally,
endless
all the milk
demand.
starts flowing in. The government has absolutely no idea what to do with it, so they turn it into cheese. That way it doesn't expire. That part makes sense. But now what do you?
Cheese doesn't. So there's cheese that doesn't expire. I need to know the difference between cheese that does and doesn't expire. Because, like, in consumer familiarity, I buy cheese and I don't put it in the fridge. That shit's going to be moldy like that, you know? It's going to be unusable in an instant, basically. So what cheese doesn't expire? Is there just something about like a cheese block that does that? Like, what's the difference?
What do you do with all the cheese? They have no clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away because every single presidential administration through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they all continue to buy up excess milk to prop up the dairy industry, turn it into cheese, and stash it away in these caves. It literally turns
I'm
into
going to say, you know, this is in the Cold War. This isn't very capitalistic. All right. This interventionism shit is making a cheese crisis. So I think it's time for some government-owned pizzerias. We can do it. We could do it.
Giant political game of kick the can down the road because nobody wants to be the president that crashes the global economy by not buying enough milk while sitting on top of a mountain of cheese.
Would that really crash the global economy? The American dairy farm market? Is that how that works?
Understandable, I don't want to be that guy either. Then, fast forward to 1980, Ronald Reagan, aka the small government guy, gets elected, finds out that the US government is sitting on top of 500 million pounds of cheese and spending $1 million a day to refrigerate and store it, and he looks at—
Oh, it has to be refrigerated too. Okay, that makes more sense, but no expiration date at all. That's insanity.
This whole issue like a beaver looks at running water. Absolutely fucking not. We can't have it. So his administration goes about figuring out the cheapest way to solve this cheese problem. Obviously, we're gonna throw it all in the ocean. However, having at least the foresight to understand that that would cause political backlash, he wanted to see how the public would receive it. So someone from his administration shows up to a White House press conference with a 5-pound block of moldy cheese and is like, hey, we got 500 million pounds of this shit. How would you guys feel if we threw it in the ocean?
Is it moldy then? So it does expire. I don't understand.
It'll be fun. We'll save money on cheese. We're going to find out if blue whales are lactose intolerant. It's going to be a great science experiment. The public did not go for it. They kind of felt like, hey, I've paid taxes for the last 40 years. You've turned those taxes into cheese. I would at least like the cheese. So then the Reagan administration—
I mean, that's true. But if it's moldy, I mean, do you want moldy cheese? You might don't. This is sunk cost fallacy. Just let the cheese go. As much as I'd like government-owned pizzerias, I don't want them to be infested with mold.
Administration took the 55-gallon drums of cheese, cut it up into 5-pound blocks, packaged it, and spent the remainder of his administration funneling 300 million pounds of cheese into impoverished and elderly homes. And this is where we get the saying government cheese from.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
I honestly have only heard government cheese once in my entire life. And I heard that in, I don't even know if it was government cheese. It was like Big Cheese, I think. It was in Toontown Online. One of the big corporate cog enemies was called like Big Cheese or something like that. That's the closest thing I've heard to that. So whatever this saying is, I think it probably died like 30 years ago at least.
Government would then continue to give out government cheese until the 1990s when they seemingly ran out, because as of today, all 1.5 billion pounds of underground secret cheese in America is privately owned by corporations like Kraft and Velveeta. And this is the part where I wanted to end the video on a happy note of the government made a mistake, they fixed a mistake over 50 years, happy ending, hooray.
Why is Kraft and Velveeta holding on to 1.5 billion pounds of government, well, just cheese? What are they going to do with it? Is that what we're eating in the mac and cheese? Are they not making new cheese? Are we eating moldy cheese? What?
However, it didn't really make sense because something happened in the 1990s where the government was able to stop buying the excess milk. What happened? And that's when it hit me.
Got milk. I remember in my school, just in every hallway, there was a got milk poster. It's going to be got milk, isn't it?
Absolutely the got milk ad campaign.
Oh! Hell yeah.
The biggest, most iconic ad campaign of all time.
I don't know why that excited
me.
me.
Every cafeteria in every school in America had a bunch of posters of famous athletes with milk mustaches saying,
but I didn't drink milk. Nobody I knew drank milk, especially not because of this shit. We just made fun of it. So, did this really fix the problem?
And got milk, drink your milk. I vividly remember commercials as a child telling me that if I didn't drink enough milk, my arms would literally fall off my body.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Oh, that's not good.
Got milk.
Surely this is what inspired an entire generation of Americans to eat and drink more dairy products, right? I mean, yeah, probably, but looking back on it now as an adult, doesn't it seem just a little bit weird that it wasn't a particular company putting on all these ads? Like, if there wasn't one company profiting from selling all this milk, where was all the money coming from? I mean, it almost seems like the government launched a giant psychological operation, ad campaign, just so that they could offload milk so they wouldn't have to keep contributing to their mountain of cheese. Well, I'm going to take this off now because that's legit exactly what happened. In 1995, the U.S. government created a nonprofit organization known as Dairy Management Incorporated, and their entire job was to get the American people to eat and drink more dairy products.
Bro, just open up New York, like actual New York quality pizzerias in every state. You'll sell this cheese like nobody's business, all right? As a New Yorker, I used to wake up, go down the block, get 3 Sicilians for breakfast, go down the other block to this different pizzeria, get 3 plain slices for lunch. And then, well, in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., the pizzerias weren't open, so I went around the corner to the deli and got a chicken cutlet on a hero. There was no cheese involved there, but still, like, I'm eating almost a pie pizza every day. I could have eaten more if the pizzerias were open later. It would have gotten rid of it.
Literally a cabal of individuals plotting behind the scenes to get people to eat more cheese. It's the cheesiest conspiracy of all time. And I'm not
I thought he was
going
to say eat more milk.
Anything that has ever been sold or marketed that involved way too much cheese on it, this company is behind. Okay, they're the reason that Taco Bell started selling steak quesadillas. They were behind the Got Milk ad campaign. In 2002, when Pizza Hut had the Summer of Cheese event where they put way too much cheese on all their pizzas, this is who was behind it. In 2010, when Domino's almost went out of business, they gave Domino's $12 million to stay in business and then gave them a bunch of cheese so that they could put extra cheese on all of their pizzas, and that was their entire proposition for staying in business. Hey, our pizzas have more cheese on them now.
That is so stupid. Man, what year did they almost go bankrupt? He said like 2012? That makes sense. Dude, I tried Domino's around that time. It tasted like cardboard, dude. It was terrible. It's better today. Still not as good as like New York pizza, but it's better today. Their bread was the problem. I don't think it wasn't the cheese. What do you mean we got more cheese? I never saw Domino's advertise, hey, we got more cheese. I don't know what I see them advertise though. I don't know if I usually see a Domino's advertisement. Were they the ones that started the 30 minutes or your money back? I don't remember.
Also, they're good. It is absolutely insane. So I did it. I found the world's cheesiest conspiracy, but then I found leaked internal documents from DMI. And they are the funniest fucking thing I have ever read in my entire life. I'm gonna go ahead and read one for you now. It's a letter from Pizza Hut to DMI regarding a meeting they recently had. July 6, 1999. Dear Greta, we wanted to express our thanks once again for a wonderful meeting last week. We appreciate your team taking the time to share some very valuable information and creativity during our brainstorming session. Everyone is very excited about the presentation you gave regarding DMI's available resources and cheese industry insights. We look forward to working together to develop many cheese ideas we've discussed. We believe this is going to be a valuable partnership for both Pizza Hut and DMI. Let's sell more pizza and more cheese! Exclamation
Lady
point.
of the
Thank you
cheese,
again
Lord of
for
the
coming
cheese.
to Dallas. We look forward to talking to you soon about our partnership opportunities. We will call you next week to discuss the next steps. Sincerely, Derek, Lord of the Cheese, and Liskrin, Lady of the Cheese. Even
Oh
they
my
know
God.
that this is a fucking joke. Why is this such a joke?
That's
well, because
crazy.
Dairy Management Incorporated, while it is a non-profit, they don't actually have to raise money for themselves like most non-profits do, because they're also a government checkoff program, which means every dairy farmer in America is legally required, whether they want to or not, to send this company money so that they can advertise on their behalf. And their annual budget is like $140 million a year,
Jesus.
with their CEO and top level executives all making right around $1 million per
Bro.
year. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you there is a group of people in America getting paid $1 million to convince Americans that cheese is awesome. Okay, that's like trying to fucking explain to Stevie Wonder what nothing looks like and getting paid.
And you're telling me they haven't come to YouTube and started paying content creators to buy pizza? That's like a wasted opportunity, especially after this last election. You should know YouTube is where you could sell some cheese.
Paid $1 million for it. He already fucking knows that, okay? It makes no goddamn sense. Cheese is so fucking good that it is the one thing on earth that if you are allergic to it, we're not going to say you have a cheese allergy. No, you're lactose intolerant. We're not going to say you're allergic because we all know you're going to eat that shit anyways because the consequences are worth it. Am I upset right now?
That's true. That's true. I know lactose intolerant individuals, and they do just eat pizza and stuff all the time. And it's like, oh, does the pizza like not give you side effects? Oh, no, it does. Well, then why do you eat it? Because pizza's good. Okay, but to be fair, I also knew someone that did that with nerds. It's like, oh yeah, I have this terrible reaction every time I eat nerds. Sees nerds, starts chugging them. It's like, why are you eating them so quickly? Oh, because that way I'll just have the allergic reaction all at once and it won't be a problem. It's like, no, that sounds like a problem.
Little bit. Is it because I'm jealous?
Oy.
It's basically selling ass candles to dogs and getting paid $1 million for it. It is the most ridiculously
candles?
easy job on the planet, and I'm so mad that it's not mine. Anyways, I guess if you made it this far in the Unhinged TED Talk, in conclusion, the U.S. government banned alcohol in the 1920s.
All right, this might be a stupid question, but like, what is a TED Talk? I've seen the TED Talks, and it just seems like random individuals telling stuff, but like, who the fuck is Ted? Who the fuck is Ted? And how come he's never the one talking? What is a TED Talk? Someone tell me, please.
It set forth a ripple effect through time, and now some dude in 2023 has my dream job of making $1 million a year to convince people of some shit they already knew. And the US has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese hidden in an underground cave network. Fucking the more you know.
But we're through
I
it,
guess.
right?
Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch. FatElectrician.com. Quack bang. Out. I'm gonna go eat some fucking cheese.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, that was something. That was an interesting react. I don't really know what I expected from that one, but I got cheese. So I hope you guys like this video. If you want to let me know what to watch, otherwise just type a name in the comments. It will eat a link, so you want to join the Discord in the description if you want to actually show me a link, because YouTube will eat the links for spam or whatever. So for now, I guess I'll see you guys on the next one, and go eat some cheese.